Mine's for Dr. MacArthur, and I enjoyed what you said. It's just, I was wondering what you would say to someone who is in a tragedy, like right now, like just lost their child and is a non-believer, even if they are a believer. Like, what do you say? Because what you're saying is harsh. I mean, it's truth, but what do you say to someone who's like in it now?
Can I jump in, John?
Yeah, please.
One of my favorite
I've already said more than I know.
I saw a program once at 700 Club, okay? Pat Robertson was interviewing a young woman who had 2 children between the ages of 1 and 3. In separate incidents, both of her children were tragically killed. And she was weeping and sobbing as she said, how could God allow this to happen? It's unthinkable. And Pat Robertson was trying as hard as he could to comfort her. And he would say, you can't blame this on God. And God had nothing to do with this. This is the fallen world. This is the devil. Everything but God. I started actually talking out loud to the television. I was sitting there, I was saying, oh, Pat. Please don't tell this woman that God had nothing to do with that, because you've just taken away from her any hope of ever finding the redeeming purpose in this out of her. Biblically, it is God who giveth, it is God who takes away. John recited passage after passage. He brings prosperity, he brings calamity. That's not harsh. What we have to tell people is that your only hope in the midst of your pain, in the midst of your suffering, is that it is not an accident, but that the supreme wisdom of a loving and transcendently holy God is behind this. And you can't possibly know today why. But this is his world. And it's who else would you like to have in charge of it beside the Creator God? I mean, I don't think that's harsh. It may be difficult, but I don't think it's mean-spirited. I don't think it's harsh. I think it's the truth that we have to speak to people to give them any hope at all in the middle of this. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. If God didn't have anything to do it, not that well, but if God didn't have anything to do with it, then nobody's in charge of the universe and nothing makes sense. If God did have something to do with it, if he had everything to do with it, if it fit within his plan, then everything is in his control and everything has meaning and points back to him and to his glory. And you can begin to, as time goes on, you know, very Christian people see things like that in retrospect, and they can give you a litany of things they can see that God did in response to what appeared to be a tragedy at that particular time as they look back as time goes on. So it's better to know that God is in control. There's hope, and every issue becomes redeemed or redeemable in that situation.